Welcome to the Tourism Hub podcast, a podcast devoted to you and your excellence, providing inspiration and education for the entrepreneurs, experience makers, and excellence seekers of our industry to take your tourism business and career to a whole new level.
Relax.
Lucky last, Greg Ewing from Company Directors.
Australian Institute of Company Directors.
Australian Institute of Company Directors. Now, I've spent a lot of my years in ballooning, and it was like on so many people's bucket lists. Being next to you, so Australian Institute of Company Directors has been next to me during these last couple of days, and I know for myself and many in this room is on their bucket list.
Yes.
It is something on many realms and many industries. It's something that you want to pursue but keep putting off. So tell me, Greg, about your journey with Australian Institute of Company Directors. There's a lot to cover quickly. You've got a great initiative that you've launched here at the convention.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just talk about some of the objections and the reasons why people are giving you why they're not doing it and why they should.
Why people procrastinate?
That's the word.
Big question. Well, first of all,
yes,
AICD makes it so much easier. Than
AICD. I should have. I got the name right. Your name.
So
yes.
What's really good is that the AICD is the largest institution of its kind in the world.
Yeah.
So we have over 53,000 members just now.
Mm.
About 9,000 here in Queensland, where I'm the state manager, which is really good. But the programme we've put together, the partnership with the Australian Regional Tourism, is around, I suppose, elevating the level of board professionalism. So it's focusing on the company directors course. So that's a gold standard course, internationally recognised. And about 65,000 people have done this course over the last 49, nearly 50 years. And it really looks at ensuring that when directors are working with any organisation, a not-for-profit or an ASX or any private business or government, that what they're doing is they're making decisions that are informed and reasoned, strategic, and that are in the paramount interest of their organisation, so that it thrives, not just survives, not just today, but into the future, and that it's in a way that I suppose brings together a lot of things that we sometimes take for granted.
Yeah.
But if we're looking at the tourism sector, I mean, there are organisations of all different types, but they're embedded in their society and their community, and they're an important part of the economy. So how do we make sure that the people that lead have the education, the knowledge and the understanding that's required to sometimes take quite difficult decisions? So the programme, the partnership with ART is really, I suppose it's forward-looking, and it recognises that if we're going to build and elevate the skill level of people, then it requires a partnership, so that people can go forward in their roles as directors with confidence.
And it's an incredible and credible qualification for board director positions.
Absolutely.
And as well as that, I know in my own experience, I'm in a leadership position, and I found myself in a managing director's role, managing 45 people. And I just knew I lacked that. I knew this was like, I wish I did it sooner. This would have helped me so much when I had to stand people down, and I need to do a master's in HR over COVID, in what to do and my responsibility.
And what's really interesting is, just alluded to it there, non-executive directors and executive directors. We've got a lot of our members and a lot of people who do the company directors course who would be reporting into a board, so CEOs, CFOs and so on. But a lot of aspirational directors, people who are just about to take on their first board role, or perhaps have been involved in a board for a while and thought, well, I actually need to get myself educated. But whether you're on an ASX listed company, a private company, a family business, a whole range of different businesses within government agencies, wherever you are practicing the profession of being a company director. The company director's course really gives you that framework of understanding and education. It's not an easy course. It's really, some people refer to it as a mini MBA.
Yeah.
But what it does is it gives you that financial literacy. It gives you an understanding of risk and strategy. It gives you the legal framework, and importantly, how you put that all together. Why do people procrastinate?
Tell me.
I think because people always, it's aspirational. They know they need to do it, but they also put other things in front of it all the time. But really, you're carving out a number of days. The course is 5 days, whether you do that as an intensive in one block or as we're doing with ART, is across 5 different weeks and doing it by distance, or whether you're self-paced. There's different options. There's reading that goes with it, and I think people go, have I got the time to do this?
Yes.
I think the challenge is, have you really got the time not to do it? Because if you're going to be in a directorship position, understand what your responsibilities are, your accountabilities, and the whole way of ethical leadership and the multitude of things that affect business now is really important.
What's just came to me when we talk a lot about sustainability in business, but this is also really crosses over to that, to be sustainable in all of those different areas. And when you talked about, you nailed that, like in ethical leadership and having a sustainable, like leading a sustainable business, whether you're a company director, chair, CEO, to be able to take all things into consideration that your business, because we've also, so many of us have seen closures, businesses not existing as well, whether, for whatever reason, but I think this will put you in a better position to make better decisions.
It's really interesting. My 2 favourite days in the company directors course, CDC as we call it, are risk and strategy and finance, or fun with finance as I like to call it. But because it's not about being an accountant when it comes to finance, but it's about knowing the questions to ask and having a director mindset. So is it really, one of the phrases we use a lot is about noses in, fingers out. So as a director is about having that nose in and asking the questions until you get that transparency and understanding. And it's also about working as a team, because it's not about having 8 clones of each other on a board. It's about that putting the best team on the park. So you wouldn't always want a board that's everybody's from the tourism sector. You want people with a diversity of thinking, diversity of thought. So when that all comes together, it can be quite a beautiful thing. If governance is ever a beautiful thing, But the company directors course is the bit where ART is working with AICD. We all love acronyms. But I think what's also there is that we've got other courses for people, whether they're a not-for-profit. We've got not-for-profit governance. But after you've done you could do a boardroom mastery, or you could go in at foundations of directorship, which is sort of just a level below where CDC is. So there's loads of different ways that people can build up their governance muscles, for once of a better phrase. And then once you've spent that time in the governance gym, if we could go that way, then how you keep that level of directorship fitness going.
You can have all the experience in the world and you want to go for that board director position and you don't have this qualification. It's such a highly valued course and experience that I think you could actually, it's the difference that could make a difference in a selection process. Would I be correct in saying that?
It can happen, and I think that the situation is almost like it becomes more of it's what's expected of you, that and it's a shorthand really, that the G at the beginning of AICD, that's GAICD for Graduate of the Australian Institute of Company Directors. It's a way of shorthand recognition that you're taking yourself seriously as a professional director, and that you're coming equipped with the education that's going to help you look to that. And you mentioned sustainable organisations, and sustainability isn't just about climate. It isn't just
No,
about nature.
no, this is it.
It's about finance, but it's also about how we use the resources in a reasoned way, so that we make sure that we're not overstretching, or that if we've got limited resources, we're using them in the best way.
Yeah.
But it might be that as a director, you then realise, well, actually, we do need to invest in a different way. So there's so many different aspects to that, and I think whether you're a small micro organisation, or you're an ASX 50, or you're a government health board, for example, or you're in the education sector, whichever part of the economy you're in, there's a lot of things that are common in terms of the decision making, but there's things that are unique to the sector.
Yeah.
So one of the other aspects of what we're doing with ART is contextualising that, so that it's people who are from the tourism sector, well, it makes sense to them.
Yeah. So good. Feedback, consistent feedback in my knowledge and colleagues that have been through AICD and the company directors course. Every single one of them, something they value, not just, that they come out, that they've got their initials next to their name, the networks that they make, because they're suddenly in a situation, in a room and in an environment with other leaders from other industries, that they take away these relationships.
Very much so, Despina. And I think one of the things that's is great is you become part of a connected community. And there's the ongoing stuff. But for example, we've got a whole range of stuff on artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, modern slavery, a whole range of different things, climate governance. We're looking at technology sector as well. And most of those issues actually go across all industries and all sectors. Cyber, for example, would be a big one in that space, because if you've got people's data, then it's important. But it's also about that, culture setting piece, the bit about, well, what do we expect from our people? And that can really make a big difference to the way that the world views us as a business, views you as I suppose, a trusted partner. And in tourism, people having a level of trust in you is a really important aspect, because they are travelling to see you. They are investing their hard-earned dollars. And if that's your clients, but if you're a government agency, or whether you earn your back, if you put it that way, whether you earn your back from your customers, from grants, from philanthropy, or other revenue streams, people want to know that their dollars being invested and spent wisely.
Ain't that the truth? So this is available. So what's been launched is for ART members. It will be all available on the hub. So if you're part of the ART community, you have access. There's a significant financial, incentive, because it's, this is something, and I guess with the procrastination that they come into, but I like what you said before. It's what you're gaining, but also what you're missing by putting this off, and the opportunities that you might not be. And I guess this is like all that forward thinking of, like, where do I want to be in 12 months?
Yeah. And our purpose at the AICD is to strengthen society through world-class governance. And that can mean different things to different people. But the strengthening society bit, I think, is what I say to everybody who's attending a company director's course. It's not about your individual journey. And it's not just about having the G in front of the AICD, but it's about your role as a leader and as leaders for your organisation, to make sure that your organisation's thriving, not just surviving, and that it's it's delivering on its purpose, whatever that may be, and that what you're doing sits well for society, community, and economy.
Which is so perfectly aligned with regional tourism and so I think, there's a perfect partnership here to have something that keeps coming up, that we all rise. This is something that we all rise by doing something like this. What a treat, because I am one of them I'm one of them human. And what a shock, it's like, what's the universe telling me? Like, we've been next to each other this, for the last couple of days. So I am thrilled that you joined us today. Thank you for saying yes to this. I know we're really wrapping up now, like everyone's starting to pack down. What a pleasure to meet you. And Christina, here we go. If you've been putting it off, this is another reminder the universe is also talking to you that, we're coming to the end of the year. What does a win look like for your 2024, and what does a successful 2025 look like? This is the time to think about that, and you've got a perfect incentive to help you just make the call, get into it. I think this is one of those things that you will not regret.
I would agree.
Yeah, you would agree. Okay. Thanks for joining live. This is the last legend that I bring to you. Until next year, we'll see you in Adelaide Hills, and there's lots more to share that have been missed along the way. So stay tuned to all the socials, and thank you to everybody that's joined us live and coming back and watching the replays. We appreciate you, and I'll also just take the opportunity, Greg, to just thank all the sponsors, the amazing team and the board at ART at this, and what they've put together, our trade partners and tables that have serviced all the incredible service leaders that have come and said yes, like Greg. Thank you to everyone. Until next year, there's a lot of work to be done now as we all go back and debrief on what we've ingested of the content and the connections that we've made. Thank you. And until next time, we are peacing out. Bye, everyone.
Relax.